Woo-wee. Good morning, everybody. Yes, hit the thumbs up on your way in. Tell everybody hi, get comfortable. Here for it, back at it for Trent. Um, crazy situation. Before I get to that, today starts Letitia Stouch. Her trial starts today. This trial could go on for 2-3 months. I don't know. It's not going to be quick by any means. So I'm going to be covering the trial, but it's going to be sort of hit and miss because I can't put other cases on the back burner. So what I'm going to do is we're going to cover our regular cases in the morning and then switch over to the trial. How's that? Fair enough? Because we got a lot going on, guys. It's crazy. There's a lot going on all at once. Not enough burners for all the food we got to cook up, if you know what I mean. So, how was your weekend? Palm Sunday. We are in Holy Week. What a great day to start a trial for Letitia, if you know what I mean. Woo! That is nuts. And some pretty unholy people in Glenn County. Today would be, this is day 13. No arrests. None. This is like, I'm telling you, this is like the movie Alpha Dog. You have got entitled, self-absorbed, spoiled, mean ass, who I refuse to call kids, adults. They are adults. It's horrible what they did to Trent. The name of the show today is Worst Case is Never the First Case. Keep that in mind. When somebody does something like this, it is not the first incident. They've been gearing up for it. When someone gets arrested, that's the first time they got caught, not the first time they did it. These adults have been off the chain for a long time, and their parents are horrible people. I'm sorry. I know some people are like, you need to, get off the parents a little bit. No, I'm not going to. I am not going to. They created this mess by looking the other way, being friends with them, not telling them no. These parents, particularly the Strothers, are going to be, I hope they're ready. I hope they're ready because they're going to be in trouble. These parents have got to be held accountable big time. And I know people say, well, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be a parent. Rumor has it that the Strothers were home. They were home while at least one of the incidences was going on. I believe the March 17th. They got a big old house on the island. It's gorgeous. This is what Brett put up last week. Investigative unit can confirm that at least one of the attacks on Trent Lehrkamp happened at this St. Simon's Island home owned by James and Lauren Strother. The family also owns a hardware store on the island. When I called there today, I was told no comment. Yeah, they don't have a damn comment, do they, Brett? I hope nobody's shopping at that damn hardware store. I wouldn't buy a roll of duct tape from them. No pun intended. Horrible. I don't know what's going on. My parents never had an issue telling me no. They would just flat out say, hell no. It did not hurt their feelings in the least. It didn't ever bother me to tell my kids no. And we have this new movement of these free-range parents. We saw it in the Kylie Rodney case. It's way more common than we realize. These kids are drinking. We had one parent, Angela, was talking about her son, Edward. She said, he's got a drinking problem. And I'm like, he can't have a drinking problem, Angela. He's got an Angela problem. He's got a mom problem. That's what he's got. He does not have a drinking problem. He can't have a drinking problem because, for one, he's not 21. He doesn't have a job to buy alcohol. So someone is supplying that. He's got a problem with the adults around him. It's sickening. Sickening. They've been filming this stuff, taking pictures with their cell phone, and here we go. I'm telling you, people lose their damn mind when you make a suggestion. I don't mean us in here. I'm talking about these people. When you say, take their damn phone from them. Oh, I can't. Because if I need to get a hold of them, you don't need to get a hold of them if their asses are at home or at school. What the hell are you talking about? If they're home or at school, there's nothing to, you know where they're at. Take the damn phone from them. These parents act like these kids, like it's a dialysis machine or something. It's a phone. It's a phone that's got their TikTok, their Snapchat, and they're doing things with it they should not be doing, for certain. Here's an example right here. Trigger warning big time. I'm only going to say it one time because this is a horrible situation. Here is one example of what the little angels were doing with the phone.
Get the back of his head. Get the back of his head.
Trent down. Hey, get out. This is dude perfect. And we're watching all.
Get the back of his head. Get the back of his head.
Trent down. Hey, get out. This is dude perfect. And we're watching all.
Get the back of his head. Get the back of his head.
Trent down. Hey, get out. This is dude perfect. And we're watching all.
They are disgusting. What parent could look at this and think it's okay? This video has been floating around for quite a while. Yes, exactly, Jamie. They're imbeciles. Mermaid said, raise your kids so the prison guards don't have to. Prison guards are going to be raising these kids real quick. Not quick enough for me, but you know how it goes. Izzy, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You have no idea what that means to me. Rumor has it that the kids and the parents have lawyered up. It's definitely a believable rumor because the police are spending more time interviewing Trent, the victim, as if he hasn't been through enough, but not the kids. So the rumor that they lawyered up makes sense because, as we know, lawyers don't let clients talk to the popo. And they had a lot to hide. They have a lot to hide. Back to their phones and their phone behavior, they took this picture. Now, when they took this picture, it's safe to say that Trent was unconscious. Blood alcohol limit almost 6 times the legal limit. By all accounts, he should have died that night. Not that I want him to die. If this had been me, I'd have been dead. He had his youth working for him. I can say that. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. It's depraved, infuriating. It's horrible. Now, some people, as I said in the last show, blame Trent. They blame Trent, okay? They said, well, he kept going back for more. He kept going back for more. He really thought that these kids were his friends. He honestly did. He was trying to fit in. He was trying to be included. And he recently lost his mama. And when a child, even an adult, I was 25 when my mom died. Once the casseroles, are done, everybody's gone home, no one's giving you hugs, saying they're thinking of you, all of that goes away. What you have to depend on is people that are in their own grieving process. And kids like Trent will latch on to to these kids to be accepted. And they, exactly, SRB, you took the words out of my mouth. They preyed on his vulnerability. And it's horrible. So these people that are saying he's an idiot, he shouldn't have kept going around him. Look, I cannot look at pictures like what you're looking at on the screen and place any blame with Trent. I just can't. I'm sure there's some chats out there that are down for it. I just can't do it. I cannot look at this, I almost said little boy. Phew, it's a Monday for sure. I cannot look at this picture where he's clinging on to life and say he's partially to blame. Can't do it. That's just me though. I can't do it. Got some comments from the last show I'm going to go through, and then we're going to get all caught up and up to speed on what's going on. Bluebonnet said, I missed the live. What a story to wake up to. I hope a top lawyer will take this case and put them away for many, many years. Well, the top lawyer would be the district attorney of Glenn County. That's the only person that can file charges against these people. The only one. What he is waiting on, I don't know. The chief said last year, I'm out of it today. It is Monday all day. The chief said last week to Brett, and he tweeted it. He said, we want an airtight case. We don't want anything to fall through. I get it. I'm just really impatient. Now, Brett spoke to Trent over the weekend, and it gave me some comfort that Trent says he has faith in law enforcement, and he 100% believes that justice will be served. So they're obviously telling him more than they're putting out publicly. That gave me a little bit of comfort. I'll have a lot more comfort when we have arrests. Fine Art on Fire said there are several things that be called aggravating factors. Glasses would help. And used to enhance the charges. He said, I've always been a bit rough around the edges myself, so I will say hazing and horseplay can indeed get rough. But all that goes out the window when the person loses the ability to consent or dissent. He was unconscious. He was taped to the damn chair. I have a feeling I know where they got the tape. Have a feeling that the hardware store was down a roll. Ashley said, whoever house this incident occurred at is going to have a high homeowner's insurance bill from now till the end of time. Trent's dad may be able to sue and collect money from the homeowner's insurance. Let me tell you, I love this comment. I love this comment. Absolutely. Even if they weren't home, doesn't matter. It is their responsibility to keep law and order in their own home. 100%. I hope he does. I hope he sues them personally, and I hope he sues their homeowners insurance. Don't just take some shitty insurance payout. Sue them personally. I would love to see that. Would love to see that. He could have died. The only thing I can say for any of these people is that 3 of them had a strike of conscience and did take him to the ER, but only 3 of them. There's like 11 kids and only 3 made sure to get him to the hospital. The rest of them scattered like roaches. Casey said, I wish so much for someone to comfort Trent and tell him that being friends with the cool kids doesn't matter when you enter adulthood. And that is true. She said, I pray he finds justice, health, and true friendship very soon. And that would be the only silver lining, because he has more friends than he'll ever know what to do with now. People are coming out of the woodwork. Glenjamin, this is just nuts. Why would people do this to another person? I hope they pay a very heavy price for what they did. Me too. I hope they're charged as adults. They're just months away from being 18. Do you guys remember the movie The Accused with Jodie Foster? Horrible, horrible situation. It's based on a true story. Now, of course, they took a lot of liberties to make the movie because, well, it's Holly weird, you know what I mean? But it's based on a true story. So the rape that occurred, that was one criminal charge. The people that stood by and watched were also charged. The bartender that was serving drinks up while this violent attack was going on, he was charged. I hope the DA takes a page from that playbook, and everybody that stood around and didn't get a pair of scissors and cut him out of that chair, charge them. Whoever supplied the alcohol, charge them. Wherever this occurred, whoever's home this occurred at, charge them. Charge them. Every damn one of them. Let's go through the timeline for people that aren't familiar with the case yet, because there's a lot going on here. I'm going to play a clip of the timeline, then we're going to catch up on what went on over the weekend.
We are learning new details about the apparent hazing incident of a Georgia teen after he was dropped off at a Brunswick hospital unresponsive 1 week ago today.
Video of the incident involving 19-year-old Trent Learcamp appeared on social media. The police report says he had a blood alcohol level 6 times the legal limit. So here's some of the events leading up to last Tuesday. This is according to the police report. In early March, Trent is taken to the ER for a cut to his left eye, needing stitches, but it's unclear what caused it.
Now, the report says on March 17th, the teen came home covered in WD-40, vomit, paint, glue, egg yolk, and spray paint. It's not clear if this is linked to the video on social media.
Then 4 days later, the night Trent would end up in the hospital, according to the police report, Trent's father spoke to his son, who said he was, quote, perfectly fine.
And then less than 4 hours later, 3 teens in a Jeep arrive at the ER with Trenton unresponsive in the back seat. The report says Trenton's clothes were soaked with urine and he had spray paint all over his body and hair. He had to be put on a ventilator.
About 10 minutes later, Trenton's father is notified. 2 hours after that, Glenn County police officers arrive at the hospital and begin their investigation.
And the community rallying behind Trenton, even holding a vigil for him last night in front of the hospital where he is being treated right now.
And this evening, On Your Side's Zach Wilcox was at the hospital in Brunswick, where Trent is recovering, with an update on his condition.
Trent Learcamp's best friend tells me that he is out of the ICU and off the ventilator. That is a great development, along with the more than $70,000 that's been raised to help cover his medical bills. Focusing on the investigation now, since Learcamp was brought into the hospital 1 week ago, Glynn County Police reported they've interviewed Trent as well as other people involved. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has analyzed photos and videos taken that night and during the earlier incidents. They also served search warrants at the house where the party was held, where police believe Trent was abused by other teens. However, no arrests announced yet. One of Learcamp's closest friends wants those responsible held accountable.
It's just sad seeing how those kids, they get charged.
We just got an update from the district attorney as well, who said that they are aware of the situation. They're working with law enforcement, and as they get information in, they're trying to see and research what kind of laws and statutes could be applicable here. But they do want to remind folks that investigations like this take time.
Yeah, well, we're running out of time and we're running out of patience. It's horrifying. It's maddening. Now, this clip is several days old. There's still no arrests. Of course, he's out of the ICU. He's actually been moved to another facility, so he's not in the hospital now. And by the grace of God, he survived this. He was battling, after he came off the ventilator, he was battling high fevers, dangerously high fevers, lung infections. He had aspirated all that shit they were pouring down his throat. It is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Nope, whist, nobody's charged yet. And you know what? Exactly, Chloe. Chloe said the PTSD he will live with, this is going to be a lifelong thing. Night terrors, the whole 9 yards. He's not going to trust people. How could you ever trust people? Girls and guys. 3 of those names I'm reading on this roster are definitely girls. This is ridiculous. They have video, still photo, eyewitness testimony. 3 people dropped him off at the ER. And I wish they would get this hazing shit out of their mouth. I'm sick of hearing it. This is not kids will be kids. This is not an initiation into anything. This is pure torture. That's all it is. These are depraved, sick little psychopaths. That's what they are. That's the only thing I can say. They are sick psychopaths. And that GoFundMe is now over $100,000. I hope he keeps every dime of that for whatever he wants to do. Get a new car, buy a house, because not one dime of his medical should be paid out of his own pocket, whether it's through his dad's medical insurance, this GoFundMe. Every dime of this medical needs to be paid for by these psychopaths. The parents that allowed this party, in quotes, to go on, they've got money for highfalutin lawyers. They better pay the medical for the rest of his life. There is a victim's compensation fund, but without the charges, he can't utilize it. And I say, screw that victim's compensation fund. If he needs to use it, then that family needs to reimburse that. Plead the Fifth made it in. Girl, I was about to call the U.S. Marshals and come find you. It's horrible. This is absolutely horrible. Okay, so it came out on Friday, I believe. Glynn County Police executed a search warrant at the home where they believe the attacks on Trent happened the night the teen arrived at the hospital, according to Glynn County's manager. Now, why this warrant was not executed March 21st or 22nd, I don't know. This is like 10 days later. In that 10 days, I have a feeling that the homeowners who own a hardware store got ample supplies to clean the shit out of that house. What did they think they were going to find 10 days later? What did they think they were going to find? They've had plenty of time to clean it up, and I guarantee they did. Rock and Rolla said their maid cleaned it. I guarantee the maid cleaned it. But they brought home all kinds of stuff from the hardware store, machines, the whole 9 yards, and said, get this cleaned up. Get that mustard out of the carpet. Throw that chair away. I better not even see one roll of tape in this house. Anybody needs to attach anything, use a stapler. No tape, nothing. When I saw this, I was like, do what? Why did you not search that house last week? I mean, on what planet does that make sense? That just really irritates the hell out of me. Also, there's some people on the island that would love to obstruct justice. They want Brett Buffington, the investigative unit, WSAV, the hell out of there. Look at what this guy said to him on Twitter. Brett said, update, now they want me fired. And all I've been reporting is hearsay. Now that's according to them. He's not reporting hearsay. Well, Dustin, we've got strong sources, including the police and Trent's family. I tried to talk to the parents of the kids involved, but they didn't want to talk to me. See you on Monday, Brunswick. So this guy, Dustin Lewis, is not happy that this is being exposed. He says to Brett, I have attached one of your posts that you're going to wish you never wrote. I'm pretty sure that any of your posts are public domain, whether you're doing it under your personal account or as a public personality account. I don't know why he's splitting hairs on that. He's an idiot. The problem I have that I find the National Enquirer to be a better news source than the nonsense that you've been reporting on since you arrived to Glenn County to cover this story. Everything you've posted on Facebook has been purely hearsay and inaccurate innuendo. You should be fired from WSAV in the least, and you should be held personally liable for anything that happens to Trent and all of the individuals and families affected by your comments and actions since arriving to cover, in quotes, this story. Someone is bothered. This is a threat. And this is only going to fire Brett up more. This is only going to fire him up more. He should be fired. His boss knows what he's doing. He knows what he's there to cover. And listen, his sources are Trent's family, and the police. Why won't the parents of the adults that taped him to the chair, why won't they talk? If you want to clear your name, talk to Brett, hot stuff. Clear the air. I understand one of the parents says that this pictures can be deceiving. What is deceiving about this picture? I see 4 adults flipping off the camera. I see an unconscious Trent. He's got ketchup, mustard, stuff all over him. Again, he's unconscious. He's taped. He can't move. And someone has defecated on his lap. What is deceiving about this photo? What is deceiving about this photo? He's in ICU in this picture, on a ventilator. What the hell is wrong with these parents? Do they not realize that this could have been one of their kids? Gaelic, exactly. held hostage. Lala, yep, Lala said a picture speaks 1,000 words. It damn sure does. And for them to say pictures are deceiving. What is deceiving about this? He's in ICU on a ventilator. His hair is wet. Probably from fevers breaking. Thank you for supporting the channel, Chloe. Me love you long time. Horrible. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But good news. This was tweeted yesterday. A message from Trent himself as he continues his recovery now at an out-of-state facility. Trent says justice will be served. Breaks my heart looking at his picture. Absolutely breaks my heart. Look at him. Look at him. Divine. Thank you so much, hun. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a channel. Slim goes, he's got a Murphy dog. I know. He is. He just looks like such a sweet, kind soul. He lost his mama. He's trying to make friends. He's trying to fit in. He gets tortured and abused, held hostage, kidnapped, some would say. Let's look at this clip we're going to hear from Trent.
Story tonight, brand new exclusive details in the story of 19-year-old Trent Learcamp. His family tells us Trent is now recovering at an out-of-state treatment center. The St. Simons Island teenager attacked 3 times, the latest last week. The teens being questioned by police are the ones Trent considered his only friends. Here's lead investigative reporter Brett Buffington with an exclusive message from Trent himself tonight.
Hey, everybody.
For the first time since we heard his story, we are hearing from Trent.
Thank you for all the wishful support and caring. I'm alive and doing well.
After days in this Georgia hospital, a visit that started on a ventilator, Trent has been discharged.
Just know it's going to be a long time for me to get over this through the trauma. But one day, hopefully within the next few months or so, I might be back.
This family today telling me Trent is supporting the Glenn County Police investigation of the attacks he went through, saying Trent is a kind and loving person who was taken advantage of. This photo was taken Saturday of Trent heading to an out-of-state care center as he continues to deal with the understandable emotional damage. Trent ended his short message with a strong promise.
But justice will be served.
Police in Glenn County continue their investigation. Now, 12 days later, no one has been arrested. Brett Buffington, WSAV News 3.
No one has been arrested. No one has been arrested. When you hear from Trent himself and he says, justice will be served, I am so happy that he believes that. I do, because I don't want any more harm on him. He already knows the road he has ahead of him. His words exactly. We're going to listen to it again. Trauma. He's going to have to deal with the trauma. I don't know who put the comment in. I think it was Fan said, do you think they took him out of state for his own safety? I wondered that myself. Nookie coming in with the super sticker says, thank you for covering this and bringing light to this, Brooks. It seems like no one else on here cares. We do. We're cut from a different cloth than other people. We march by a different drummer around here. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And I see gifts It is raining memberships. Thank you so much. When I heard Trent, in his own words, say justice will be served, I was happy. But when I heard him say trauma, I had a lump in my throat. And it was really hard to fight back the tears. I'm about to start crying right now. Absolutely horrible. Divine said, I am beside myself on this case. I am too. I am too. Elizabeth, sometimes it takes years to overcome this kind of trauma. Imagine just going to sleep. Depression, anxiety, fear, straight up fear. He will leave. He will have to live with for the rest of his life. And I hope it gets better. I hope it gets better. I hope he's got great therapists. I hope he's got great counselors. And I hope that for the rest of his days, he only has good people around him. I really do, because he deserves that. What happened to him, you wouldn't wish this on your worst enemy. Think about someone whose ass you just can't stand. I'm trying to think of somebody. You even as much as you can't stand that person, you would never even think to do something like this or wish this upon them. So, speaking of good people, over the weekend, Ahmaud Arbery's aunt, she is a warrior and a half. I would love to get her on this show. She's a busy lady, though, let me tell you. And she is leading the fight locally. She organized a vigil outside of the hospital. I don't think they were expecting that because they turned out in droves. Hundreds of people all over that parking lot. His sister was watching him from his hospital room window. Over the weekend, she organized a rally. And this is after what happened to her nephew. I can't say enough nice things about this woman. She is wonderful. So this is what she organized, and it's stunning.
Still no arrest following what is simply the most recent disgusting and disturbing attack on Trent Lerkamp. He is a 19-year-old and was dropped off at a Brunswick hospital last Tuesday night so intoxicated he could barely breathe. Today, friends, family, and supporters of Trent gathering at Neptune Park for today's Justice for Trent rally. Hundreds showed up showing lots of signs of support. WSAV's lead investigative reporter Brett Buffington live for us there now. Now, Brett, you attended that rally today, and you not only got to gauge just how big the support is for Trent, but you're also on our side this evening with some new information from police. Can you speak a little bit more to that for us?
That's right, Kaylee. The Glenn County Police Chief telling me today that his investigators have had a chance to do that follow-up interview with Trent Lerkamp as he continues to recover from at least his physical injuries. People here in this community tonight are downright demanding an arrest. On the streets of St. Simon's Island, the signs tell the story.
No justice!
Embraced
No justice!
by the echoing chants. A Saturday showing several hundred strong, demanding that Trent Lerkamp's story include arrest.
We came in peace. We got the message across. And I think that today we'll all leave for something. And that's what hope that next week things will move forward.
The 19-year-old attacked. Police now questioning teenagers Trent considered his only friends. A video and this photo shared on social media a week ago. The picture showing Trent tied up and seemingly unconscious. Since then, we've learned Glenn County Police have figured out who the teens involved are. Investigators now working to recover evidence from cell phones they've collected.
I think that there is no reason that this should have happened. I think it could have been prevented. I know that the boys involved in this case have been in trouble for years.
The overwhelming impression here: the social media posts are strong enough to seek charges, as the police here ask for patience as they work to try and put together a case.
Listen, police here did say it takes a while to examine that electronic evidence, the cell phones that they have, to get the data off of it. They also said it was time consuming to try and identify those people in both of those Snapchat posts. Those are things that police are in the process of doing, at least the evidence in the phones. They have identified the people in the pictures, but people here in this community tonight, they are counting the days as they continue to ask, why hasn't someone been arrested? Kaylee?
For the first time, we are hearing directly from the night.
Arrest them all. Arrest them all. The Strothers, the parents, their son that invited everybody over to his house, probably got the supplies from his family's hardware store. Everybody that stood by and watched, now I'm not going to be surprised if some leniency isn't shown to the 3 that took him to the hospital. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I expect there to be some leniency for them because they did take him to the hospital. Now, the other 8 that scattered like roaches, charge them. Charge them high, and let it fly. This kid, forgive me for saying kid, adult, Edward Rooker Hobby in the photo from Snapchat on the left. You can see him very proud of himself standing behind an unconscious, taped down Trent. This bastard, look how smug he is. According to his mom, he has a drinking problem. Again, no, he doesn't. He has a mom problem. He's been a problem for quite some time. And the other ones too. The inmates have been running the asylum in these homes for a long time. A long time. So this is his mugshot from November. In a police incident report from 4 months ago, his mother told police he has a problem with drinking. Out of her damn mind. Who in their right mind would try to get any sympathy for this piece of shit? She raised him. Drinking problem, my ass. If he had a drinking problem, he wouldn't have poured the vodka down his throat. Alcoholics like to keep all the booze for themselves. You said it, Nani. I bet his mom has a problem with drinking. Yeah. Yeah. Insane. Absolutely insane. All right. Also over the weekend, Taryn, who I just adore, Trent's sister, she spoke to Brett Buffington. That Brett has had a busy time since he got to Savannah, Georgia. I tell you what. I thought he did great work covering Quentin Simon. He called a spade, and now he's all over this. I really hope he stays local and doesn't like go to News Nation or Inside Edition or one of those. I just think he does amazing work. All right, there's been some rumors about life in Trent's home. His sister has come out and said, no, these things did not happen. People are saying that Trent's dad keeps the pantry locked so they can't get food. No, he does not. It's ridiculous. Okay, here's the tweet. She told me this is just so awful and bad people are making it so much worse. Taryn said her brother would be the first person to say how much our dad does for us. She added, especially after her mom died. She said she'd never lived alone. Trent's sister this afternoon told me there are stories online that are causing more pain for their family. One being an article saying that her father locks the home's pantry. No. No. Mm-mm. Why are people doing this? When I did the show last week, I was all fired up that day too. People are saying, oh, he participated. He gave and he got. No, he was taped to a chair. When he got to the hospital, there was no mistaking the odor of urine. They had urinated on him. They said he actually had burns on him from the urine. Can you imagine? These people are nuts. They are out of their damn minds. They're like, well, he's got that GoFundMe, and I hope he keeps every dime of it. I hope it gets up to $1 million. I do. He should not have to spend one dime of that GoFundMe on his medical bills. Not one. These 4 sacks of shit standing behind him in this picture, looking at an unconscious, taped down Trent, need to pay his bills for the rest of his life, and their parents as well. Disgusting asses. Skittles. I don't like the look of this POS. I don't either. I can't look at this picture of him. He's unconscious. And I would love to know the 3 people that got him out of the chair, cut him out of the chair. Trent's a big dude. Carried him out to their vehicle, got him to the hospital. I wonder why they didn't just call 911. I have a feeling there was a big argument in that house. A big argument. What were the parents thinking? Now, it's a big house. They could have not seen anyone leave. What were they thinking when you're carrying an unconscious Trent out the door? I have a feeling there was a big argument between the 3 that cut him loose and the other 8. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Just Me said they didn't want the cops showing up. For sure. And I also want to know what's going on with that. Because it's reported that the cops had been to that house, the Strother house right here, 10 times in the last year, I believe. But when Buffington called to get incident reports, they only had 2. And one was a follow-up to this. Where's the other 8? Who's covering up for these people? Indie Girl said drug and alcohol charges. For sure. For sure. And what a fool's errand to go to the house on Friday here it is again, to serve a warrant. There's not going to be anything left. You think the chair is still sitting there with tape hanging off of it and mustard and ketchup packets in the floor? Of course not, idiots. Crazy. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, News Nation is on it as well. I really hope that they don't offer Brett a job because I think he does wonderful work locally. Let's see what they said because they interviewed Brett and he gets a little different insight.
Hearing directly from the 19-year-old who survived a horrific attack in Georgia. His family calling some of the acts posted on social media torture. News Nation obtaining the exclusive audio message tonight and new information. The teen has been discharged from the hospital. He's now receiving care at an out-of-state treatment center. Well, it has been 12 days and still no arrests. He was hosed with water, bound in a chair, covered in spray paint, and then dropped off by teams at the hospital where he entered the ICU. Brett Buffington with our News Nation affiliate in Georgia has the message Trent is sending tonight.
Hey, everybody.
For the first time since we heard his story, we are hearing from Trent.
Thank you for all the wishful support and caring. I'm alive and doing well.
After days in this Georgia hospital, a visit that started on a ventilator, Trent has been discharged.
Just know it's going to be a long time for me to get over this through the trauma. But one day, hopefully within the next few months or so, I might be back.
This family today telling me Trent is supporting the Glenn County Police investigation of the attacks he went through, saying Trent is a kind and loving person who was taken advantage of.
Big time taken advantage of. Big time taken advantage of. They preyed upon his vulnerability. These are morally bankrupt people. They are. They don't deserve to be in society. As he is trying to get well and recover in an out-of-state rehab, these imbeciles are going about life as normal, just minus the chair and the cell phones. Jay Lord said, didn't they spray paint him? Yes, they did. He aspirated it into his lungs. Down his throat. Just degraded him. Degraded, humiliated. And this is fun for them. You see, this type of sickness that they have going on in their heads, it's going to take the only type of rehabilitation for them would be in the jail. They need to be in jail. And I have a feeling the wonderful correctional officers that are going to be overseeing them are going to let everybody in the jail know what badasses they are. They are going to have a target on their back. Lone Wolf, thank you. Lone Wolf said this is domestic terrorists at its finest. Uh-huh. That's a good way to put it. Jersey Girl said, they said that they were looking through the books to see what kind of charges they could charge the thugs with. I said the same thing. Huh? I mean, I'm no lawyer, but even I can come up with some damn charges. And they'd stick with a quickness. You're not going to have a problem with a jury in Glenn County. They're fed up. They're sick of the bullshit there. Your jury is out marching, yelling for justice for Trent. She said, I'm pretty sure when you hold someone against their will, it's kidnapping. Kidnapping. Hostage. Attempted murder. False imprisonment. Thank you, Nani. Assault and battery, discon. I mean, stack them high. We don't just have to give them one charge. You can give them 20. and tell them you have to serve your sentences one, then the next, then the next, then the next, not concurrently. Don't let these assholes get a bunch of concurrent sentences and get out in 5 years. And I can't wait for the attorneys to show up and give these kids some kind of damn mental illness.
This photo was taken Saturday of Trent heading to an out-of-state care center as he continues to deal with the understandable emotional damage. Trent ended his short message with a strong promise.
But justice will be served.
Police in Glenn County continue their investigation. Now, 12 days later, no one has been arrested. Brett Buffington reporting for News Nation.
Yeah, we thank Brett for that. I want to bring in former FBI Special Agent and News Nation Law and Justice contributor Jennifer Coffendorfer to talk more about this case. And Jennifer, it is such a tough.
No, that's where I stop it. No, Lord, no, I don't want to hear her take on it. Shit. So that's where we're at. We're up to speed. Trent is recovering. He's in an out-of-state rehab facility. He said there will be justice. He has faith in Glenn County, in their law enforcement. And if he does, then I do. If he does, then I do. And we'll just see what happens. Like I said, one charge isn't going to cut it. I'd give him the whole buffet of charges. Give him the whole buffet. Anything you can think of. I don't care if it's breaking curfew. I don't care what it is. Stack it. Stack it high. Big T said, oh no, Jay Koff, no thank you. Yeah, nobody wants to hear her silly ass. God. I don't even know why they keep bringing her on there. Danette, how can kids and their parents be so evil? That's what I want to know. What? Now, there's some mob mentality going on here. That's for sure. And I hate mob mentality. I can't stand that. There's a ringleader. And right now, I think it's either Jackson Strother or Edward Hobby. And the others followed suit. Doesn't matter to me. They're all guilty in my book. Because they're not going to be running things in the jail. They're not. They're going to have targets on their back. Kat, you're welcome. Kat said, thank goodness we didn't have to listen to the cough. Yeah. Yeah, the minute I see that pop up, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that shit. No. What for her just to say, this is wrong. This is heinous. Well, I think what they're doing is they're putting together a case. That's what she'll say. Idiot. Snow said, guarantee some of them have previous charges. Well, we know Edward does. We know he does. Lauren, dark triad. That's what I'm saying. And not that we wanted this to happen to Trent. If it wasn't Trent, it would have been someone else. And these parents that are saying pictures can be deceiving and all this stuff, they're out of their damn minds. It could have been one of their kids. They wouldn't be talking about deceiving pictures if it was one of their children. Which one is Edward? It is him right there. Edward Rooker Hobby. He just got in trouble in November. He was well on his way to jail. And the parents aren't doing anything about it, but now they're going to be forced to. Because, well, I have a feeling Angela, the realtor, who says this piece of shit on the screen that she gave birth to has a drinking problem, I don't think it's going to go. It's not going to go that way, Angela. Nope. And who's going to buy a house from you now, Angela? Who in that town is going to go to the hardware store to buy things for their home? These people are pissed. And they should be. They absolutely should be. He's just a punk. I think he's the ringleader. I don't know. I'm between it. It's either him or Jackson. Truth Seeker said that's what I was thinking. He was already on his way to jail. Yep. They've been doing this for a long time. Like I said, the inmates have been running the asylum for quite some time. And these parents that say, well, what do you, or these other people in comments, I haven't really heard from the parents except for the one that said, pictures can be deceiving, but that was before all hell broke loose. And it's being covered everywhere. I've seen some people in comments, well, what do you expect the parents to do? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do I expect the parents to do? I expect them to be parents. They can't do any child rearing when they're in jail. They're all going to be in trouble. Those that watched, those that participated, those that brought the alcohol, the whole 9 yards. Those that sat in their study watching TV and drinking while he was being tortured in another part of the house. They're just thugs. They are just thugs. You're right, where's Summer? All right, guys. Well, for today, that is all I've got on this subject, but we're going to cover it. Anything that goes on with this case, we definitely are going to be on it. I've been updating the community tab. We have a room in Discord for Trent. The Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group, I'm updating that all the time. And of course, we're going to keep doing lives about this. We're going to keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. And the minute that there's an arrest made, I'm going to hit the live button. So get ready. Make sure your reminders are set because we're going to be piling in. For sure. Because I am just so angry about this whole situation. All right. I have a few things I need to do around here. And then I will put up Letitia's trial. We've been waiting on that for a long time too. So we can all pile in, watch their opening statements if they haven't already done them. And chat away. So I will see you guys back here in an hour or so. Give me about an hour. All right. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for everything. The gift memberships, the super stickers. I mean, what you guys do to keep this channel going, hands down, you are the absolute best. I'll see you back here in a little bit.